Okay, so we saw the Accenture film, great institution, great organization, great brand. But there's another company out of Detroit called General Motors. You may have heard of it, and they have a technology that's pretty amazing called OnStar. And we're going to roll a film that tells a really, really good story. So let's check that out.
If you talk to people about what their priorities in buying a car, it's safety, it's fuel economy, it's quality. But those are table stakes now, and we recognize that. So the point becomes, how do we differentiate our vehicles and our offerings from our competitors? You've got to start by focusing on the customer. Now, that doesn't mean that's where you stop. You focus on the customer, then you say, okay, how can I meet those needs? What are the gaps? How can I, my company, do something for that customer that they want to have done that isn't being done well today?
We invented the connected car. I mean, OnStar was the original connected car, but it started out with this concept of safety and security.
We've had your back for 20 years. So it was time with 4G LTE to take that experience and bring it to life in the digital world. That's the intersection where At Your Service sits. And Salesforce is the engine that allows us to do that.
I'm a big proponent of not talking about the technology, but talking about the benefits and how does it serve people. And the way to do that is the technology has to be simple to use. Any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic.
So we chose the Salesforce Platform because it was very simple to bring together communities of merchants with our millions of consumers who are driving in 4G LTE connected vehicles and provide on-ramps into their digital community. That's what we found the consumer wants.
It's cool, it's inventive, it's fun, it's like the mad scientist type of stuff. We're taking that daily relevance and moving it out and creating more opportunities where we can be relevant to them on a daily basis by understanding them.
It's thrilling to realize the power you have to touch so many customers and to be able to push content that is important to them.
The ability to see offers and deals, whether they're shopping or fuel or dining, that are around me, that allow me to get what I want but save money on it, and I didn't have to go looking for it because it found me. It's awesome.
Salesforce allows us to be smarter with our customers by understanding what customers interacted with and how deep that interaction was. So we end up being able to pivot very quickly as new things emerge.
It's no longer just about a marketing strategy. It's about delivering personalized experiences for customers.
What the human in the car wants is something that transcends how they're interacting.
Salesforce is the foundation, from sales to community to service to marketing.
That's how we bring to life the multi-channel experience.
This is the first time I feel like the marketing I'm doing is incredibly meaningful and the customer is at the center.
And now that we have this ability, after the sale of the car, to have that ongoing one-to-one customer journey that is enabled by Salesforce, well, that's what's going to help us to move our business forward.
I get asked a lot, what's the exciting thing that's going to be coming down the road in 5 years? And I say, thankfully, I don't have to have an answer for that because Salesforce allows us to put something in place while knowing that as the world evolves and changes, we're able to execute in a high quality way very quickly for our customers. And that's the best answer we could possibly give.
All right, great story. And to tell us more about GM OnStar is Melissa Boyle. How about a round of applause for Melissa?
Thank you, Keith. Thank you. So before I begin, I want you all to think about your most memorable customer service experience. For me, it was a couple weeks ago. I went to go visit my parents in the small town that they still live. By small town, I mean that the bakery sits next to the hardware store, next to the bank. You guys know these. There's plenty in New England. Well, my car battery died. I knew the bakery wasn't going to have this, so I called the hardware store, and I got sent to one of those automatic answering machines. Press 1 for paint. Press 2 for garden. I had no time for this, so I hung up. It wasn't 30 seconds later, I got a text, and it said, "Hey, Melissa, it's Stephanie from the hardware store. I missed your call. Is there something I can help you with?" And I was like, "Well, you don't happen to have a car battery, do you?" She said, "No, but here's a list of vendors in the neighborhood who do." How great is that? Because I'm a member of the hardware store, she went above and beyond to provide me unbelievable customer service. So why is this story so important? That's because service is the new sales. Increasingly, customers are making buying decisions not just on your product, not just on your price, but on that experience that they're having with your brand. And that's why delivering exceptional end-to-end customer service is more important than ever. Now, Service Cloud's the world's #1 service and support application, but it just keeps getting better. Now we're supercharging your agents, empowering them with this omni view of all the customers. And with Wave Analytics embedded directly into the application, your agents are closing cases faster and making smarter decisions. But it's not just for your call center. We're extending that to field service as well. Far too often, field service is disconnected from this process. And that's why we're thrilled about Field Service Lightning. This is a platform that's going to bring your entire workforce into a single place, giving you an end-to-end view of that service life cycle. And even better, there's intuitive algorithms built into the back end, making it easier than ever to dispatch. Now, think of this as Uber for field service. Instead of a car showing up, it's the right technician with the right skill set at the exact right time. How great is that? That's incredible customer service. But we know good customer service is just one part of the journey. Marketing Cloud allows you to create tailored, one-to-one, personalized journeys with your consumers. These journeys are personalized in their content, and they're predictive in their outreach, creating a greater experience for your consumer and allowing them to feel closer to your brand. But what about our partners? We can't forget about our partners. That's why you use Community Cloud. This is where you bring together your customers and your partners and your employees into a single place. You have complete control over the look and feel, and this isn't a separate application. This is embedded entirely into your back-end business processes. And even better, you can connect smarter. You can personalize the content and make tailored recommendations. Think about that. I go to your community, and you know me, and so you make recommendations and surface content that I'm going to like. How cool is that? All right, so you're all sitting here and going, what does any of this have to do with GM? Well, this is exactly how GM is running their business and changing our driver experience. Who in this room owns a car? Has a car? Has seen a car? Okay, lots of hands and yeses. You're going to relate to this next demo then. So GM, and actually every single one of you in this room, is in the midst of a customer-centric revolution. At the heart of it is the customer, their expectations, and their devices that are generating massive amounts of data. That's why the IoT cloud is so critical. Let's look at the automotive industry as a whole. Our cars are smarter and more connected, and every single day, billions of data points are coming off of these vehicles. It's capturing how many remote starts you're doing. Are you using the rear camera, the front camera? It's even tracking how many times you're adjusting your seat. But it's not just enough to capture and store this information. The real question for GM and everyone in this room is how do you use this data that you're collecting about your customers to proactively engage them, to solve a problem, or to even seize a new opportunity? And that's what GM is doing. Now, up here on the screen, you can see the GM OnStar logo. OnStar is GM's in-car navigation and customer support application. Did you know this thing is nearly 20 years old? Remember, it was just that little blue button in our rearview mirrors? Well, let's think about this. When you think about OnStar, what comes to mind? Pressing help and getting out of a ditch, of course. But there's way more to it. It's an app, and it's a powerful app. You can remotely start your car. You can get real-time performance into your vehicle. It's got my 3-year-old nephew's favorite feature, which just randomly turns on all my lights and horns. And then it's got my favorite feature, which is going to stop all the lights and horns. But GM had far grander visions for how they were going to transform our driver experience. And it was at Dreamforce last year that a group of their executives came, and they walked away with the concept of at your service. Now, I'm still going to use my OnStar to find my favorite restaurants and hotels and gas stations. But now, GM's created an entire new marketplace that allows their partners to send me mobile offers based on things that I like. It's too cool. I have to show you it. But first, something you all don't know, this Californian lived in Boston from 2006 to 2008. I fell in love with a lot of things about your city and New England in general. But my top 3 are Marathon Monday, Boston Red Sox, and Dunkin Donuts. Now, besides all 2,000 of you in this room, you know who else knows how much I love Dunkin' Donuts? My car, because that's the first place I navigate to every single morning. Well, now Dunkin' Donuts can send me an offer for 99 cents off coffee, driving me to one of the participating locations. They could even push consumers to, let's say, an underperforming location. And because it's embedded entirely into my navigation system, I'm seamlessly on my way. 99-cent coffee, what a great start to my day. Now, this is fantastic. It's wonderful. But this isn't just a mobile offer. This is an experience for me as a driver. Of course, GM is providing me value, but they're also personalizing their interactions with me, and they're allowing me to feel closer to their brand. And it's not just Dunkin' Donuts. GM created an entire new marketplace. Now, what you guys are looking at on the screen is a fully branded community cloud. This is where similar fellow merchants are going to go and create similar campaigns to the one we saw. Now, because it's part of a campaign, you get those same, or part of a community, you get those same great features you know and love, like asking questions or collaborating. Imagine asking someone on the other side of the country, what's working in your campaign? These conversations are both public and private. But this is also where marketers are going to go ahead and build these campaigns. Do we have marketers in the room? Where are you guys? OK, you guys you're much louder than that. Where's my marketers? All right, that's more like it. We always have to watch out for sales, but it's the marketers, I'm telling you. All right, so Monday is opening day here at Fenway. What a great day. Well, if you're coming in from out of town, wondering where you're going to park is always a stressor. Well, that's why GM's partnered with Parkopedia. They're a VIP parking application, and they take the stress out of the day. So let's take a look at how a marketer from Parkopedia could build a campaign incentivizing everybody to go to one of their services. It all starts on this screen. So you can build an event around a specific day or a series. You could build it around dates. But then you get to segment. This is where you ensure that you get the right offer to the right consumer at the exact right time. Now, the next step is to look at all those participating locations. Because we're building this around an event at Fenway, those are all the parking lots that are going to be a part of this. Unfortunately, we don't have unlimited budget, so the next step is to determine how many clicks and downloads this campaign can support. And then the last part is uploading that image. You have complete control over the look and the feel of your campaign and your mobile offer. And when we look to review it, you're going to see how it's going to render across any device. This Parkopedia ad is looking absolutely fantastic. I think they could go ahead and submit, and they are done. Parkopedia just built a campaign around opening day. Done. Now, while Parkopedia is done, GM is just getting started. This is embedded entirely into the back-end business processes. This is now going to kick off all the workflows and the triggers to start this journey, and it's all powered by Marketing Cloud. Here you can see the journey we're going to take the consumer on, incentivizing them to accept this offer. So what does it look like, the consumer? Me? Well, I'm headed down the Mass Pike, destination Fenway. I just left Worcester, or as everyone else is going to call it, Worcester. And I'm going to the big game. I don't know where I'm going to park, and up comes this amazing 20% off. Well, my hands are safely at 10 and 2, so I'm not going to do this part. But my passenger is going to redeem that offer, and it's going to pull up all those parking lot locations. Now, if the game was today and I was wearing the suit and these heels, I would say we're absolutely picking the one closest to the game. And that's what we're going to do. Once we do it, we are done. Stress is taken out of the day. I have my parking spot reserved. I'm ready for the big game. This is fantastic. This is an incredibly successful end-to-end campaign that Parkopedia just did. But it's not just Dunkin' Donuts, and it's not just Parkopedia. GM created an entire new marketplace. They have dozens of customers that they support. And that's why they're using the Service Cloud Lightning Console to manage cases that are coming in from any channel. Now, before we go in to look at how a GM customer service agent is going to resolve this case, I want to divert your attention just briefly to the right-hand side. If you text that number, you're going to get access to our free State of the Service report. We surveyed 1,900 global customer service leaders. And in this free report, you're going to get insights and tips on how to stay on top of this ever-changing customer service environment. OK, back to the console, the very powerful Service Cloud console. It's not enough for GM just to make it easy for you to create these campaigns. They want you to also be successful. Now, these cases are coming in from any channel, Very traditional channels that we're familiar with, email or phone, but you can also get cases from more modern channels like Facebook or Twitter, or on the very top, that's a self-generated case on behalf of the campaign because it's not performing well. Well, let's go ahead and dive in and see how that GM customer service agent can solve this. Now, instantly, look at all this information on one page. On the left-hand side, that's marketing metrics into Exxon's campaign. In the center, that's where you're going to collaborate back and forth. But on the right-hand side, that's Wave Analytics. Everyone in this room can embed Wave Analytics directly into your console. Remember, you know your customers and consumers better than anyone else. You're collecting information. You know their habits, their trends, their behaviors. How do you use this information to solve an issue? Now, when you compare it to potential upcoming activities like opening day, you can then make recommendations on how to solve this case. If Exxon's trying to drive more traffic to their gas station, how about a post-big game T-shirt giveaway? Not every gas station has the luxury of being on the right-hand side of the exit. It might be a half a mile down the road. But if I have to fill up anyway, and you're going to give me a free shirt, I'm absolutely going to that gas station. I think we could tweak this campaign and consider this case closed. Now, unfortunately, tomorrow I got to go back to California, which means I can't go to the big game with you, which then means I can't go to the gas station, to Exxon, and get our free T-shirts. However, what I can do is bring a lucky few of you tickets to that game and that T-shirt. Who's a Red Sox fan? Who's a marketer and a Red Sox fan? All right, Keith, back to you.